Welcome to QA Confidential, where the bugs don't just lurk in the shadows, they write cryptic notes and leave them on your keyboard. Today's tale dives into a dance of definitions that's got everyone scratching their heads. Prepare for a cluster f***.
Well, look at this. Time for a little detective work.
What's up, Ariel?
I just stumbled upon an issue in the new build. Care to help me decide whether to charm it into submission as a bug or classify it as a defect?
Let's take a look. It's a bit of a gray area sometimes.
See here? The application stalls when processing large data sets.
Looks like a defect to me. Big issue, like it's already on base.
On base? Please. This is more like a little bug crawling around the outfield.
We could go back and forth all day. Should we bring Anne into this?
Let's. Before we strike out here.
They approach Anne, who is deeply focused on her coding.
Anne, darling, we need your expert opinion.
What now?
The app stalls when handling large datasets. Showstopper. I say it's a bug, but someone here insists it's a defect.
Defect, obviously.
Oh, come on. So, what's it gonna be? Bug or defect?
Defect, clearly. It's causing a big problem, isn't it?
Problem, sure. But that doesn't automatically make it a defect.
All right, you're both right.
How can we both be right?
Easy. Could be a bug and a defect. Or neither. Depends on how you look at it.
That doesn't help.
Exactly.
Exactly what? Is it a bug or a defect?
Precisely.
Playing coy, are we? Is it a bug or a defect? Could it be a defect?
Absolutely. Could be a bug, could be a defect.
Anne, seriously, are you messing with us?
Not necessarily.
All right, then enlighten us. What is it?
It's an issue.
That's what we're saying.
And I'm agreeing.
This isn't helping, Anne.
Sounds like a lively debate going on here.
Joe, perhaps you can enlighten us. We're caught in a web of semantics, and Anne isn't making it any easier.
Is every defect a bug?
Not exactly. All bugs are defects, but not all defects are bugs.
So some defects aren't bugs?
Exactly.
But is every bug a defect?
You've got it.
No, I don't. If a bug is a defect, what's a defect that's not a bug?
Ah, the age-old tango between bugs and defects. It's like watching a couple argue over who left the lights on. Mind if I waltz in?
Oh, by all means, Sean. Let's see if your dance moves are as smooth as your monologues.
Ah, but you see, a defect, dear Ariel, is like a ghost in the machine. Lurking, haunting, and yet not born of code itself. It's the flaw you can't see until it's already whispered its chaos. Rather poetic, isn't it?
Poetic, sure. But ghosts or not, sounds like a bug wearing a fancy hat to me.
Not quite. That's what we call a defect. Bugs don't haunt, defects do.
Okay, so what do we call a bug?
A bug.
But a bug is a defect.
Right.
So if we find something wrong in the system, it's a bug.
Could be a bug. Could be a defect.
What's the difference?
If it's a bug, it's a defect. But if it's a defect, it might not be a bug.
What is it then?
It's just a defect.
Then what's a bug?
A bug's a defect.
That's what I've been saying.
Exactly. But not all defects are bugs.
Let me try to clarify. A bug is always a defect.
Correct.
But a defect is not always a bug.
Exactly.
So if I find a defect, it could be a bug.
Or it could just be a defect.
But a bug is a defect.
Absolutely.
Okay, humor me. How do you define a bug?
A bug is a flaw in the code.
And a defect?
A flaw in the system. It's when the system doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
The system involves more than just our code.
Exactly. It's the whole system. Hardware, configurations, integrations. If any part of that doesn't work as intended, we call it a defect.
So, let me get this straight. If something breaks, it's a defect. If it's code-related, it's a bug. But what about smaller things, like a typo? Where does that fit?
Yeah, exactly. If I find a typo on the screen, what is that?
That's a bug.
Not a defect?
Could be a minor defect.
So it's both a bug and a defect?
It depends
On what?
on the impact.
Suppose the application crashes. Bug or defect?
That's a critical defect.
Caused by a bug?
Exactly.
So the bug causes the defect?
Now you're getting it.
Am I? Because I feel like I'm losing it.
Oh, bollocks, you're fine.
Oh, gag me with a spoon already.
All right, but seriously, if the user interface is confusing, is that a bug or a defect?
Neither. That's an enhancement request.
An enhancement? But it's causing problems.
Then it's a usability defect.
But not a bug.
Right, or its design intent.
At this point, the confusion was becoming more painful than sitting on a cactus during a hemorrhoid attack.
I'm going to need a bug spray after this.
Oh, and watch out for features.
Features? Now why is that?
Sometimes bugs become features.
How and why does that happen?
Marketing decides they like the bug so much that it would make for an interesting feature.
So they call it a feature?
Exactly. Now you're getting it, laddie.
So a bug can be a defect, which can become a feature?
Yeah, because nothing says fun like this endless loop of software logic. We're just going around in circles, and I'm over it.
It's quite the riddle, isn't it? Like a British scone, similar to a biscuit, but not all biscuits are scones.
Sean, not helping, babe. You're talking in circles, and I've had enough of this déjà vu.
I need a feature just to explain all this. Is there a defect in our communication?
Could just be one of those misinterpretation defects, you know? Like, not my problem if it's lost in translation.
Or maybe a sanity bug.
Don't sweat it, Alex. It all clicks. Eventually. Or not. Who knows?
If you say so, I feel defeated now.
Don't feel defeated, Alex. Nothing like a good cup of coffee won't cure.
Or perhaps enjoy a cup of tea in the process.
Now, that sounds like a feature I can get behind. Only if you promise not to explain the difference between tea and tis Annan.
Now that's a whole other discussion.
You know what? A bug is a bug, and a defect is a defect. This whole conversation has officially become an unresolved issue. It's like we're putting together a baseball lineup. Buggy on first, defecto on second, and glitchy is always out of left field. But at this rate, I feel like we'll never figure out who's on first, let alone who's at fault.
Well, as long as no one asks me to figure out what's on second or who's responsible, we'll call it a win.
And so, as the team spirals deeper into the endless vortex of bugs becoming defects, defects turning into features, and British scones masquerading as biscuits, one thing is certain: I need a break. If trying to untangle this conundrum is a bug, then consider me a critical defect. You know what? I'm logging off. Until next time, or maybe after a good game of baseball.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.